Welcome, everybody. Perhaps you have experienced personally a healing from Ayurveda, and that's what got you interested. Or perhaps you have experienced tasty Ayurvedic food, and you're wondering, how did they do that? Or a friend of yours was healed, or perhaps you noticed that there's something very natural and in that vein, naturally beautiful about Ayurveda that draws you to it. Whatever your reason, welcome. And I'm excited to present today's courses. Today, the courses that we offer for Ayurvedic certification at Joyful Belly. My name is John Immel. I am the director of Joyful Belly and the founder of it. And we have been teaching Ayurveda and certifying Ayurveda clinicians for over 15 years. And it's exciting to have that vocation and be able to do that, and every year to rededicate ourselves to the clinical greatness of our students. Great. Today's discussion, I'm going to start in a very broad way, discussing Ayurveda career and why study Ayurveda and who studies Ayurveda, just from a 10,000-foot point of view, so that you are oriented and know what it's like to have and pursue Ayurveda as a professional career choice. And then after that, I will shift gears towards the course itself and the format of the course and the time and when it starts and all of the particulars that you want to know in order to start planning for next year. All right. A note from a past student as we get started. As far as the course, it has been an eye-opening experience for me as a pediatric gastroenterologist. There is so much that I've been doing as an allopathic physician for the past 22 years, and I wish I had stepped into Ayurveda sooner. It's not too late, however, as I grasped the Ayurveda concept. Understanding why, how, and what should be done has become easier, and I'm enjoying that very much. Thank you. Here's another student. A year ago, in lieu of trying to self-diagnose some said embarrassing malady, I stumbled upon a promotion of one of my favorite websites for delicious recipes and Ayurvedic information, Joyful Belly. They were advertising a 40-week program, a 500-hour certification for mastering Ayurvedic digestion and nutrition. Wow, I thought, how lucky are these people that they are going to spend the next year traveling through their entire digestive system, discussing and learning about how everything works. Then the next few weeks, this ad kept revealing itself to me. It kept showing up whenever I was on my computer. Each time I thought, wow, lucky people. Finally, that little voice inside whispered, this could be you. So I did it. I sent in my application. So what are these students talking about? They're talking about our 3 Ayurveda certification courses. The first of which is the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine, a 2-year program in Ayurveda. So all of our programs are entirely online. So this program is entirely online, no travel required. It includes 3 live coaching calls a week that students in every time zone can understand, can attend. And in our first year of study, we will talk about Ayurveda theory and approach to health, disease, and imbalance. And in our second year of study, we will do clinical Ayurveda, assessing disease and restoring health with supervision and review for 95 clinical encounters. A 2-year program, in-depth, comprehensive immersion program in Ayurveda so that you know how to see a person. In all of our courses, you learn how to understand the health of a human being just from very basic assessment tools, your five senses. Remember, Ayurveda existed before the technological revolution and the development of modern medical tests. And so practitioners had to figure out what was going on underneath the surface without those testing tools. And the result of that inquiry is profound. It's not a subtle thing when organs are going out of balance. It's actually something that everyone can easily perceive and understand if you're taught. And what an exciting thing that is, to be able to look at a person and see, oh, this is a kidney imbalance or liver imbalance or bowel health imbalance. That information is readily available and not a mystical thing, but a natural thing. And so Ayurveda invites us to understand naturally what's going on in the body. And of course, then to remedy it as well. But really at its core, and I think what ultimately students get most excited about when they study Ayurveda is that as they get a deep human understanding of human biology, human anatomy, and human physiology, and how that manifests. That's a very exciting thing. So in the first year, we will do the Ayurveda's theory. In the second year, we will apply that theory to assessment of disease and restoration of health. The second program that I want to present today is the Ayurvedic Herbalist course. This is an advanced Ayurvedic Herbalist course where we will focus on clinical strategies, formulas, and pharmacology. This course will include the study of Ayurvedic herbs and also the study of Western herbs, and it will include both Ayurveda and Chinese medical approaches to herbalism. Why Chinese medical approach to herbalism? Because Ayurveda and Chinese medicine are very similar. They're similar enough, but different enough that that there are radical and wonderful things to learn when we put those two systems together. And that's what this course does. It takes a broad global approach to biocharacteristics medical theory, which is used by Ayurveda, Greek medicine, and Chinese medicine. All are based on a very similar understanding of how the body works, and all have a very similar underlying theory of medicine. And we bring those systems together to understand how to use herbs in a more powerful way. If you study the phytochemistry of herbs, you can understand and learn a lot about how the herbs might help a particular disease or disorder. But when you put that together with the Ayurvedic, Chinese, and Greek system of medicine and analyze them in that way, the herbs themselves become, we understand how to match specific herbs in a unique way to the individual that enhances the power of the herb. And that's what we're going to learn, is how to use herbs in the Ayurvedic way. All everyday herbs, Western herbs, not just Ayurvedic herbs from India, but Western herbs that you have here, accessible here in the United States and really around the world, because the Western herbal pharmacopoeia has become the global herbal pharmacopoeia in some ways, not in every way, but in many ways. This Ayurvedic herbalist course is the most advanced Ayurvedic herbalist course that we know of. It is a tremendous leap forward in clinical skills, combining these different but similar global systems of medicine. And I think that students who are enrolled in that program this year can testify to the leap forward it has been in their clinical training. One of the things about the Herbalist program is that we're going to study herbalism the way it was actually developed. In other words, in the past, herbalists discovered and figured out the herbs by ingesting them, by experiencing them, and by applying the biocharacteristics theories of medicine from Ayurveda, from Greek medicine, from Chinese medicine, to understand how, and interpret those experiences that they had in a pharmacological way. And that is both an intuitive, that develops both the herbalist's intuition, but also a deep common sense and practicality about the use of the herbs. It's a very natural way of understanding, and that's how they figured out how to apply herbs to specific diseases, using a system to interpret the herb. And we're going to communicate and teach you that system. The Herbalist course, all of our courses are rigorous. All of our courses are challenging, and you will feel like you have climbed a mountain, and when you get to the top of that, it will be a really exciting accomplishment and very rewarding. Our programs are for serious clinicians who want to excel and project confidence in their skills after graduating. The herb course itself is generally year 3 in our training programs. The fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine is the first 2 years, and the Ayurvedic herbalist course is generally year 3. All right, our third course, Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition, also a 1-year course. The herbalist course and the digestion course are both 1-year courses, and the digestion course is a specialty course. It is a comprehensive course presenting digestive tract pathology through an Ayurvedic lens and Ayurvedic nutrition. So in that program, we will study 30 major digestive tract pathologies and use those as a springboard to understand all major different patterns and imbalances that you can have in the digestive tract, so that practitioners from this program have specific knowledge and expertise in digestive health, Ayurvedic gastroenterology. That course is a very exciting course because of its unique focus and specialty. Very unusual course at that, and one that I think is eminently practical and exciting to people who want to go deeper. A lot of times when you study alternative health and medicine, they take a very broad approach, and that's a good thing. In our 2-year fundamentals course, we take a broad approach as well, and we try to help the student understand the whole body. But it's also important not just to be a jack of all trades, master of none, but to be a jack of all trades, master of one, right? To go deep into a particular area and develop a specialty and an expertise that really gives you that stronger ability to heal clients in a specific area. I've said it already that we're a clinically focused school. Many schools will present Ayurveda to you in a mystical way, almost in a highly inspired way, and some schools even have an interest in keeping Ayurveda a mystery. Right? They want it to belong to the miraculous realms instead of being a simple common sense approach. But these medicine systems are very common sense oriented, and it's easy to lose that under the veneer of being something ancient and exotic, right? So we will spend in our study together our time demystifying Ayurveda and making it common sense, bringing out its natural techniques of healing in an accessible way, so that everyone can understand it, with the goal of being a successful clinician. One thing you'll learn as you study Ayurveda and begin your career is that Ayurveda practitioners are teachers. We teach our clients how to heal themselves at their home. We don't stick needles in our clients like acupuncturists do, and acupuncturists don't teach their clients to put needles in themselves when they get home. But we teach our clients how to eat, how to live, and how to be in their environment in a way that is supportive for their constitution and the constitutions of the people that they love. And so we're teachers. And so you've got to understand it on a basic level so that your clients can understand you sometime in the future. And so we take the very practical approach in that way to help you become a great clinician. Our school is an experiential learning school so that you develop insight and intuition. But we back up that intuition and insight with, as I mentioned, common sense, detailed knowledge, and a rational approach. So you can connect the dots and answer the why, not just give the answer, but know why you are giving an answer. And this, I believe, ultimately is what makes great intuition, right? The intuition is the fruit of true understanding. And so in our programs, you will learn to internalize Ayurveda's approach and methods, and it'll be carried out in an immersion way that we'll be studying, experiencing, and applying. As I mentioned, the courses are challenging. I think every one of our students can say, but it's not challenging in the sense of difficult to learn. It's just the body is vast. The body is amazing and it's wonderful and it does so much, and it's not easy to learn it all. And somebody can try to make it look easy, but that's going to be an oversimplification. There are many things that are easy. In the in the conversation before today's call started, I was talking with Tavia, and she said that even with a few changes, she noticed a dramatic effect. And so, yes, there are many easy things in Ayurveda, but in your life as a practitioner, you will see a great amount of variety among your clients. And so you want to be ready for that. And you want to really know, not just get a quick overview of the body, right? We want to do justice to the wonderful discoveries of thousands of years in medicine, and we're not just going to be able to learn all that right away, but we want to invest our passion, our enthusiasm to grasp truly what Ayurveda is trying to say, and then apply that in unique situations and circumstances with our clients. Great. We're going to offer that skill, not just professionally, all of us, but as I was talking again in the pre-call, this is something that we incorporate into our lives, and it becomes a part of our community. It becomes a part of our children's lives, and the lives of the people that we love, our friends, and it radiates a wonderful way of being healthy, naturally healthy in the world. Okay, good. So already I've mentioned many reasons to study Ayurveda, but I just want to state it in a clear way. We study Ayurveda because we believe the natural way is the best foundation for health. that we want to understand thoroughly Ayurveda's wholesome approach. And because we find meaning and generosity in improving health and quality of life in our communities. That is something that I could say characterizes Ayurveda practitioners. All of them started this with generosity. I would say is the one thing that is true of every Ayurveda practitioner that I've ever met, is that there's a generosity among them. They want to share what they've learned because they believe in the mission of Ayurveda, which is the health and happiness and quality of life of the people around them. Here's another reason to study Ayurveda. The greatest minds of all time have applied their talent to medicine. Look back in history at who are the towering intellectuals. They all contemplated how it is that we as humans heal and flourish. We can look at Aristotle. We can look at St. Thomas Aquinas, Charaka. Okay, can you hear me? It looks like the sound went out for a second there. You can hear. Okay, great. I see some. How long was the sound out for? If anyone wants to put that in the chat or unmute yourself so that I can hear. Is this better? About 30 seconds or so. Okay. All right, great. Thanks for letting me know. The greatest minds of all time applied themselves to these higher order questions. What's it all about? What's the meaning of life? Right? Spiritual or a spiritual understanding of reality. The natural world. How does our world work? The natural sciences. How does our world work? And three, how do humans flourish in their world? And so Ayurveda is answering that third question. How do humans flourish in this world? And these are three great pillars that the greatest minds of all time have pursued and tried to study and understand. And so it is something beautiful and wonderful to start on that journey of trying to bring that great thing to the world. So tell me, how is the sound quality? Is it okay right now?
Yeah,
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay, good. I'll say something else. I've never met a practitioner who regretted studying Ayurveda. 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, they are still enthusiastic and excited about Ayurveda. They still want to know it. They still love it. I know many people in running a school. I know many people who deeply want to study Ayurveda, but don't, and postpone it year after year after year. And they regret not studying it. And they often postpone it for what reasons? I can tell you the reasons. It's either time, wondering if they have enough time to study, wondering if they can afford it, wondering if people in their personal life will support them in that decision, and how to start a career in it. Those are the questions that our students ask. Those are the things they always want to know. And so they postpone studying it, even though they want to, waiting for a year where they will suddenly have a lot of time on their hands for Ayurveda. And the thing that I always ask these prospective students is, what is really going to change next year? Is something going to, is your life going to be very different next year? Will you suddenly have more time? Most people, for most people, Ayurveda is that change. They instead of regretting delaying Ayurveda year after year, I'm just going to say, instead of hoping for things to change, I think Ayurveda is that change. That Ayurveda will give you the perspective that you need to get things in your life on track. For less than your grocery bill each month, you can get an education at our school. We are an online school. We don't have to hike up tuition to pay for a building. Our courses are very affordable, and especially considering the level of education that you get. All right. A big thing that students are often wondering about is the question: is Ayurveda a good career choice? Is there opportunity in Ayurveda? Health and wellness, I just want to start out with that health and wellness is a $1 trillion industry. Global expenditures in health and wellness actually exceed global expenditures in Western medicine. Can everyone hear me? Did the sound go out again? Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. That never happens.
We're hearing you now.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. How long did it go out for again? A minute? Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. That's unusual. I don't know what's happening today, but if it happens one more time, I will try to switch my Wi-Fi over to a different Wi-Fi. All right, so health and wellness is the $1 trillion industry, lots of opportunity in it. In our courses, we will teach you, one, how to start a clinic, but not only that, you'll actually start your clinic while you're enrolled. Our students create their clinic. We offer them an online clinic, and they will that takes you through all the steps that you need to build a clinic. If you want to create a local clinic at a brick and mortar location afterwards, you'll have every step of creating your clinic down because you'll have already done it while you're in our program. And then you'll start charging clients while you're in the program. And so when you graduate from the Joyful Belly School and on that day, it's not like you then go and begin your clinic. You just simply continue doing what you were doing while you were a student. And I think that is powerful and helpful for people. It's very orienting. You won't be wondering how to begin the day you get the certificate from us. Ayurveda itself is rapidly growing in popularity. If you look globally, Ayurveda is the second most used, I say alternative, but health and wellness modality out there. And so a lot of people are using Ayurveda and a lot of people are benefiting from Ayurveda. I do want to, as we talk about career, I want to anticipate and correct a problem even before, so that you have a vision of how to build an Ayurveda career. And this has to do with the way that you promote your credentials. It's getting a notice that my internet connection is unstable. Is the sound going out again? Or can everyone still hear me? Anybody? It's shaky, but
Yes, we
still
still hear
there.
you.
Let me try my a different Wi-Fi and see if I can get it to work. Can anybody hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Great. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see if that fixes it. I changed my Wi-Fi over to my phone, and we'll see if that helps. And let me make sure I get my charger too. I'll ask my wife to get me my charger. So that way, maybe that'll make it the connection stronger. Okay, great. Great. So I want to correct a problem around career planning in Ayurveda even before you sign up. And this problem has to do with promoting your credentials and specifically speaking to the client's problem, understanding how to engage your clients. One thing is for sure, we all are interested in and love and have come to see the benefits of Ayurveda. But our clients, what is their main interest? Their main interest is in the disease or problem that they are struggling with, the imbalance that they have. And so when you go out to promote your practice, generally what you're going to do is promote a solution to a specific problem that you're having. Now, here's what everyone wants to do, and this is the wrong thing to do when you go out to promote yourself Ayurvedically. What most people do is they say, Ayurveda is so great. I'm gonna just hang a shingle out there that says, come to my practice. I'm an Ayurveda practitioner, right? In some form of that, where they're like offering Ayurvedic solutions for health, or they'll say something like the natural way to heal. And those are all fine things to say. But what the client is mostly interested in is a specific problem that they have. And this is not just true for Ayurveda, but it's also true for every kind of medicine. Let's give an example. Suppose you are driving down the highway and you see a medical billboard, because sometimes you see that when you're driving on the highway. I have never gone past a Western medical billboard that says something like, Western medicine, the best way to heal. Come to my practice. Right? I never see anything like that. What I usually see is something like this. Come to our diabetes clinic. We've been helping thousands of diabetics improve quality of life and attain longevity with diabetes. Try us out, right? Now, if you have diabetes, that is a very compelling sign to see as you're driving down the road, and it's going to create business opportunities for you to practice what you love. Whereas the person who has the billboard that says, come to my clinic because Western medicine is the best way to heal and I'm a great Western medical doctor, it doesn't engage the person, okay? So the first thing I want to say out in the gate is if you are thinking about your future Ayurveda clinic and envisioning that, the first thing that you want to consider is what problems you might want to solve with your Ayurveda practice. Now, not everyone is going to know the answer to that before they enroll in a program. And many of the students in our course develop a vision of that during their first year of study. And then they begin to implement that. So if you don't know the answer to that, that's okay. It'll happen organically as you study with us. But I just want to compare. I want to ask you to compare these two business plans. Okay. Person number one says, and usually we're not making these decisions alone, right? We're making this decision with a spouse or we're talking to a parent about it or with our employer. And there are other people in our life that we have to convince that this is a great thing to do, right? So compare these two stories and tell me which one do you think is more compelling? And these are our actual cases. So the first person who their business plan is they're going to open an office and create a beautiful clinic, and they are going to promote themselves as naturally healing disease and improving people's diets in their community. A great thing to do, a wonderful thing to do, and can be very successful. But now let's listen to plan number two, okay? Plan number two is this is one of our students. She was an administrator in the construction industry for about 15 years before she studied Ayurveda. And this was her vision. She said, I've been working with construction workers for 15 years, and I know the medical problems that they have. Their joint problems, early arthritis, and some toxicity from dealing with construction materials, and in some cases, addictions, alcoholism, and smoking. These are all things I've seen on the job, and I can help construction workers with those specific problems. Now, in my area, because I'm working in the industry, and doing a little bit of Googling, I know that there are 600 different contractors within a 200-mile drive of where, or 150, 200, 150 miles from, I can't remember what it was, from where she lives. And that there may be, conjecturing that for many of these contractors, for every one that they know, there may be 5 or 6 construction workers. And so the population that I'm targeting is about 3,000 people. If I get 10% of those individuals coming to me on a semi-regular basis for meaning, once every few years, if she can capture 10% of those people coming to her for particular health problems, then multiplying that out, this is how much money I believe I can contribute to the family, and this is what the impact that I can have on my community. And then in addition to that, I'll also hold educational seminars for this group, and I know how to reach them. I know how to market to them, right? If so that student put together a plan that was a reasonable plan for between $60,000 and $100,000 a year of income in her Ayurveda practice. That kind of planning is the level that you want to get at when you're starting your clinic, to have a specific vision of a specific community and group that you want to reach out to. Like I said, you may not have that today, and that's okay if you don't. Many of our students don't, but ultimately, we're going to help you put together a plan that you can use to reach specific people in a very successful way. And if anyone's interested to know more about how to develop that plan, check on our website. We have great articles on career building at the JB website, Joyful Belly website. I'm going to click on this link and I'm going to stick it in the chat because it gives you a little bit of a vision to build your 5-step career plan and start to develop that level of specificity, which will in the end be very compelling when you're talking about what it is that you are want to do and are going to do with the other people in your life. So see that link in the chat, and you could see some of our other articles from that page. All right, great. Other questions that people have around Ayurveda as a career choice is licensure. Is Ayurveda a licensed profession? It is not. It's unregulated in the USA and Canada and in many other countries. What does that mean? It means you can legally see clients immediately after graduating. You don't have to pass any board exam or additional certification after you graduate from our programs. Our programs are comprehensive and extensive. If you pass our programs, you will, and our students, all of our students get past the, in the end, get past the finish line. We offer a lot of flexibility in our programs because our students are generally very busy. So some of them have makeup work to do. If they're a person who's already running a yoga studio, we're flexible with them in terms of completion of assignments, those kinds of things. But eventually, everyone crosses the finish line. When you do that, you are ready to practice without any additional bureaucratic loopholes. Now, Ayurveda is not licensed as a profession in the United States, but as a school, we are licensed. We are licensed to teach Ayurveda by the state of North Carolina. And you can see a copy of our license right there. And I just want to also mention that being a state licensed school in the Ayurvedic profession is really the major credential that you want to look for. The state has the most extensive review, does the most extensive review of programs than any other association or anything else out there. So the licensed schools are forced to go through and implement best practices for running a school, which the state monitors. So you can be assured when you register with a state licensed school that that school is following the basic best practices that students need in order to have a quality experience. All right. In addition to our licensure by the state of North Carolina, we're also accredited by the American Association of Biocharacteristics Clinicians. AABC is an organization that seeks to integrate all biocharacteristics medical theory systems like Greek medicine, Chinese medicine, and Ayurveda, and take a clinical approach to to the development of this kind of medicine that we practice. We are also accredited by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. Our school is a member of the National Association of Ayurveda Schools and Colleges. We're also certified by the Ayurvedic the Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America. So with that accreditation, with AABC, you can register as an Ayurveda health counselor with them if you wish, a clinical Ayurvedic herbalist, an Ayurvedic digestive health coach, or a biocharacteristics clinician. Depending on which programs you take, you can join that organization. You can also register as a health coach with AADP, as an Ayurveda food consultant or Ayurveda health counselor with APNA. But again, I want to remind you, it's not required. You can start your practice once you graduate. Because Ayurveda is an unlicensed profession, there is no license, a government license over Ayurveda. And there was an organization that tried to license Ayurveda in Colorado, but the state of Colorado turned it down because it wasn't dangerous enough. Licensure exists to protect the public when something could possibly harm them. And Ayurveda isn't harmful enough the state of Colorado determined Ayurveda wasn't harmful enough. So they don't need to regulate it. And that answers your question, Margarita, about practicing without a license. Now, you'll see that schools will try to scare you into thinking otherwise. And of course, that is so that you register with them. But you don't need to. And I'm the current president of the National Association of Ayurveda Schools and Colleges. And so, I could say that definitively, Ayurveda is an unlicensed profession. Now, you can't encroach on the scope of practice of other medical professionals, right? Like you can't do surgery. In India, there is an Ayurveda degree where you can do surgery, Ayurvedic forms of surgery. But that would encroach on the scope of practice of a surgeon and would be dangerous if you did that. So you won't be able to encroach on other licensed scope of practice. But and we can talk more about that too, Margarita. Any specific questions that you have? All right. So what's unique about our certification courses? The first is that we show you how to be a teacher of health, how to present and teach Ayurveda. As I said before, Ayurveda practitioners are teachers, so you need to know how to teach. Also, we need to know how to teach. Our teachers aren't just hired for their command of the material in Ayurveda. Yes, it's important that our teachers know Ayurveda well. But actually, many studies have shown that even if you have a junior level teacher who's a great teacher, that student learning outcomes are much better than a expert professor who doesn't know how to teach. So we look for teachers that have great communication skills and great command of the material. Here's another thing that's unique about the Joyful Belly School is we teach our teachers how to teach. We're the only school I know that does that. That we specifically instruct our teachers in good pedagogy. And pedagogy is the art of teaching. And so you want a school that's dedicated to teaching well. My whole adult life, I've been a passionate teacher in one capacity or other. I started my adult life as a undergraduate in the math department of Harvard University. And I was one of the, I've been teaching my whole life since. Even as an undergraduate, I was one of 2 students in my entire class year that was invited to be a teaching fellow. Yeah, I was in the math and computer science department. I was invited to be a teaching fellow and teach my classmates who were my year as a teaching fellow under a professor. And then I continued teaching at the Harvard Extension School afterwards. And then I continued teaching my whole adult life after that. My whole life, I've been a passionate teacher in one capacity or another. And it takes one to know one, right? So when I'm hiring a teacher, I'm looking to see whether they know how to teach, not just whether they're a celebrity Ayurveda practitioner who doesn't know how to teach. You want to choose a school that's directed by someone who has clear thinking, a practical mindset, and who has academic skill. Otherwise, they're not going to really know how to communicate what Ayurveda is to you. You may learn the remedies, but you're not going to learn it at a deeper level. Another thing that's unique about our courses is that they're challenging. We are not trying to just make it easy so we can increase enrollment, but we are looking to produce people who can actually do great clinical work. And so we aim for top-notch students. And what are top-notch students? They're busy. So our students tend to be very busy. They don't have a lot of time, but they have great minds. And so our programs are flexible for people who don't have a lot of time. We have strategies to, 1, make your study time more efficient, and 2, we'll put together a plan for you to make sure, and that will extend the time a little bit to graduate, but you'll still get everything the program offers. So our program is experiential. I said that before. I just want to say it again. It's challenging. It's experiential. It's rigorous. I said I started my adult life as a mathematician at Harvard. To me, I just thought math was art. I thought it revealed deeper truths, and I wanted to know how to think, and so that was great. But once I had studied and finished a math department at Harvard, I really wanted to know people. So I started a .com business because I figured, oh, that's a great way to learn about people. In the late 90s, and I got venture capital funding for that company and ran that for a few years and turned it over to someone who did just a beautiful job with it. But I realized that, yes, you can learn about humanity in a company, but only one kind of way of learning. And you're not going to get the full spectrum. So I left my company to study humanity and began traveling overseas. I went to France and soaked up all the great food there, lived in Paris for a little bit. And then I moved to Morocco. I lived in Bangladesh for a year, and I just went on a journey, you might say, to discover, who are humans? What are we? And because of that international travel, I got very sick and I needed help. And Ayurveda seemed like the perfect solution to me because it not only gave a great perspective on how to understand people, but it also, I needed it because I needed to heal, and I did heal. And I was excited that Ayurveda offered and gave that to me. So I wanted to offer it to others as well. Who's in our student body? Nurse practitioners who want to enhance their medical practice with health and wellness, with a deep understanding of health and wellness. So I want to say this, that Ayurveda is not a collection of remedies. It is a model and a theory and an understanding of health. And so I think Ayurveda ultimately is it is what underlies natural thinking about health. For any natural any natural system of health, in some ways can be interpreted through the Ayurvedic lens. And so when you learn Ayurveda, you understand all natural systems of health. And I think that's a great thing. And I think that if you've been in Western medicine for a while, you're not going to get some, woo-woo out there kind of education from the Joyful Belly School. What you will get is a very common sense, natural, understandable education that's very fulfilling. And so I invite individuals from Western medicine to integrate this approach into their medical practice. Who else joins our program? Yoga teachers, 200-hour, 500-hour, runs their own yoga studio. We get individuals who want to become healers. A person who has, they're on their, 25th book about natural health, and they want to take the next step. We get estheticians, spa owners, and dermatologists who know that beauty's not just skin deep. Functional medicine practitioners, mental health and social workers who want to apply this principle to psychological wellness. We get Ayurveda practitioners wanting to continue their education. The Ayurvedic Herbalist course, for example, you could be a teacher of Ayurveda with a practice for 15 years, and that herbal course will be a leap forward for you. Anyone who's enthusiastic about Ayurveda is welcome in our programs. Our students go into private clinical practice after graduating, meaning they hang a shingle, right? They start a private practice, or they join another private practice, maybe team up with a Western medical doctor, or a massage therapist, or work at a yoga studio, and they integrate Ayurveda into yoga classes or retreats, and into solving specific problems. Not every problem, specific problems, right? Nobody has every problem. Everybody has one specific problem. We've had students that cook healthy food at a cafe or restaurant for individuals, those who integrate Ayurveda into quality of life care as a nurse, people who go on to write books. Our students have gone to write books about Ayurveda, or other media, movies, things like that. Some of our students offer diet and lifestyle consulting at an integrative clinic. Other of our students have gone on to integrate Ayurveda into mental health clinics, as I mentioned, mental health workers. Any situation where you are taking care of others or yourself, including children, is a great reason to study Ayurveda. Okay, great. So hopefully that gave you a background to even thinking about studying Ayurveda. Now I'm going to go through what's in the courses, and then the course format, and wrap things up for you. Okay, the 2-year program. It includes 180 pre-recorded presentations built by a team of Ayurvedic individuals. So you're not just learning John Immel Ayurveda, you are learning from a team of people that together put their minds and developed those presentations. Then following each presentation are clinical exercises that you'll complete to use the material that you learned, and then a live class reviewing what you learned. So each week you'll get 3 presentations and exercises, and then 3 live reviews of those presentations and exercises. You'll get 2 body awareness experiments that will help you experience Ayurveda on a deep level. So that's for the whole 2 years. You'll do that. And I think that with breaks and summer schedule and 3-week for Christmas and New Year's, and there's lots of breaks in the program. And then there's also stretches where we are, really applying ourselves and learning hard. But overall, in the end, I believe the program is 70 full weeks. And so you'll do something like 140 body awareness experiments. So you will learn a lot about your body, is what I'm trying to say. And then year 2 is the clinical application of that. Of course, in year 1, you're doing theoretical clinic, meaning that every week in the program, you will have clinical exercises in year 1. But in year 2, you'll actually start meeting with first other students and assessing them, and then outside clients. In total, you'll get 95 clinical encounters, supervision. You'll be sitting in on other students making their case presentations. You'll get mentored from teachers with your cases, and et cetera, et cetera. We'll give you the forms and legal parameters for practicing, how to run a highly polished clinic, how to promote yourself. And in year 2, you also get special topics like pregnancy, postpartum, sense therapy, MARMA points, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the everything, a comprehensive program. Now, there are one-year programs out there, and you can take one of those programs. But we could do a one-year program too, right? Like, it's not hard for us to create a one-year program. It's actually harder for us to take a 2-year program, to make a 2-year program. So, all this to say is take a one-year program, but, just beware. It's not going to be the same. There's a reason why we don't do a one-year program. You cannot rush greatness. It's a big thing that you're going to learn. It's an awesome thing you're going to learn. It's powerful, but it's also, can't be oversimplified. You can't just oversimplify it and expect to get it. So we would do a one-year program if we could. I don't think it's possible, and I don't recommend it for anyone. So that's why it's 2 years. The Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion Nutrition is a specialty program, so that we can do in a year. We can give you the 60 pre-recorded presentations of 30 with 30 major GI tract disorders that are a springboard for teaching all digestive disorders. That includes 90 live reviews. Each weekly module will include 2 pre-recorded presentations, 3 live classes, and you'll get a quiz and body awareness and case studies in that program as well. So that by the end of the year, you are well established in digestive health and wellness. Some people ask, oh, should I do the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition first, or should I do the 2-year program first? Here's what I'm going to say. Because this is a specialty course, you're going to be going deep in the area of digestion, far beyond the 2-year course, which goes over the whole body. And that is very practical. And it's great for starting your clinic to have that specialty. So you can do it first. But if you're planning on doing both courses, I would do the 2-year course first, because you'll be well grounded in the fundamentals of Ayurveda for the whole body, and then you go into the specialty. None of our courses have a lot of overlap, by the way. There is a small amount of overlap, but it is less than 10%. Each course is unique, and it has its own thing. So it is some of our students have taken all 3 of those courses, and by the time you graduate from our courses, we'll be adding a 4th course to the school. The Ayurvedic Herbalist course, I talked a little bit about that earlier. By the way, on the website, you can see here, you go to the school tab and you can see the links to these courses, the curriculum and what's included in the herb course. The ability to build clinically effective herb formulas, drawing from herbal strategies and perspectives in Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and Western herbalism. Western herbalism it originally is rooted in Greek medicine, and there's still a lot of that understanding in Western herbalism, although they've lost their roots a bit. We'll address pathology in each organ system of the body. We'll learn how to use herbs for and fit them to a constitution, and do that well. You'll be learning the Western herbal materia medica and the Ayurveda materia medica, because the Western herbal materia medica, one, has such a broad array of great herbs from all around the world. So we want to take advantage of that. And two, they're accessible to people all over the world. We can't get a bunch of Ayurvedic herbs that you can only find in India. So we'll be reviewing all the herbs, Ayurvedic herbs that are available internationally, and which means all the main ones and all of the main Western herbal materia medica as well. We'll be covering something like 200 herbs in the program ultimately, but we're also we'll be focusing in and learning those herbs in a way that makes sense. So it's so that you have opportunities to interact with the herb and learn them in an applied way. We'll be making herbal products, poultices, skin rubs, medical oils, tinctures, infusions, etc. You'll be learning the basics of phytochemistry. We won't go very deep into phytochemistry, but you'll know all the basics, and that phytochemistry really helps you pinpoint the right herb in a specific clinical context. So I think that you will see the power of that in the course. All right, great. Check it out for more information on the curriculum in the Ayurvedic Herbalist program. All of the course links include descriptions of curriculum on them. All right. All of our courses include clinic as well. You will meet with other students first and then with outside clients in every one of our courses. Our course format is a distance learning program. So if you miss a lecture, if you miss a live class or for the pre-recorded presentations, no problem. We record everything. If you can make 2 out of 3 of the live classes each week, not a problem. 1 out of 3 each week, not a problem. You can listen to any of the live classes by recording, and we have a way of recording your attendance when you listen to the recording. So that way you get everything in the program. As I mentioned earlier, we target top-notch students. They're busy. Life doesn't stop once you're once you're a student. We've had students where a parent passed away and they had to wrap up the parent's estate, and they were out of class for a month, and that student graduated. So they came back, they made up their work, no problem. And I hope that's refreshing news for people, that you don't have to cancel your family vacation next year. Take your vacation. Don't change your plans. If your brain is, one of the things that's great about an online program is that if your brain is fresh at 5 a.m., you study at 5 a.m. That's when my brain is fresh. My wife's brain, her brain is fresh at 11 p.m. I put 11 a.m. on the slide. It's 11 p.m. That's when her brain's fresh. I'm like out by then. and that's when her brain is alive and ready to learn. I'm ready to learn at 5 a.m. So it's convenient and good to study when your brain is at its best. That's a good thing. So we've had students that get pregnant in the course, and then they may need an extension, or they may need to defer for a year. That's fine. We will get you across the finish line. Stick with us and we'll get you there. And I'll give that flexibility. Prerequisites. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, prerequisites. The Ayurveda Health Counselor course, that's for students who are new to Ayurveda. The other 2 courses, it helps to have some background in Ayurveda. But even in the Digestive and Herb course, if you read an Ayurveda textbook, you could jump into that course. And but you want to, we do have some basic Ayurveda training in those courses, but like I said, there's not much overlap in our courses. So one of the great advantages to enrolling early, by the way, is that especially if you are concerned with whether or not you have the time to study, is that we can give you access to the pre-course. You can start working on assignments before the course starts. And we'll also give you a reading plan so that you have a basic understanding of all the concepts that you will be learning on a deeper level. And that will greatly reduce the amount of time you spend per week in the course, and you'll be a star student. Huge advantage to enrolling early. I recommend it for everyone. If you're planning to take the course, enroll now and get access to that and roll up your sleeves and get going. So in the two courses, the digestive course and herb course, generally we're looking for people who have our official prerequisite for that course is that you have some background in health and wellness before you enroll in the digestive or herb course. You don't need to have had formal training in Ayurveda per se, but you need to know something about health and wellness before you get into those two courses, the specialty course or the herb course. I just think that is, so you don't get frustrated. In the herb course, you must know Ayurveda concepts. So you have to read a textbook or something before, even if you have a health and wellness background, you must know the basic Ayurveda concepts before getting into that course. The digestive course, you can have a strong previous practice in health and wellness. If you've taken a 200-hour yoga training program or a 500-hour yoga training program, or you're a massage therapist or nurse practitioner, you can enroll in the digestive course. We'll let you in. But I would recommend you register early and study a bit of Ayurveda from a book before you get in there. The Ayurveda Health Counselor course, that's for people who are new. Whether you've been a nurse practitioner for 15 years or whether you are a health enthusiast with no professional training, you can enroll in that course, and you will build your knowledge of Ayurveda from the ground up. We don't stand in the way of greatness. Okay. When I was a freshman at Harvard, I requested classes that were for sophomores, not for freshman year. And my advisor said, don't take those classes. It's going to be a tough year. Well, my advisor didn't hold me back, though. I told him, I get it. The courses are really hard. I'm going to do it anyway. And I jumped in. I did it. Actually, by October and November, I realized I needed help. And so I just, there was some concepts I needed to know. So I just put my mind to it, and I studied the concepts I needed to study to get the skills I needed to know. I bought a few extra books, and, I holed up for a few weeks and I got it. I figured it out. And then I did really well. By January, when finals came around, I got a great grade on my final. And so all I'm saying to you is that if you want to jump into the herb course, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just going to tell you that you may have an experience like I did at my freshman year at Harvard if you jump into that course without knowing any Ayurveda in advance. My recommendation is the 2-year course first, and the digestive and herb courses. The digestive course, a little bit more accessible if you don't know Ayurveda, but the herb course, you want to have some study ahead of time. All right, time commitment. The 2-year health counselor course, 12 to 13 hours a week. The digestive course, 8 to 12 hours a week. The herbal course, 12 hours a week. So if you are a nurse, you might be spending 6 hours a week in the digestive course, right? Because you'll have a solid background in anatomy and physiology. And if people who don't know like how the small intestine works, or what the relationship is between the liver, the gallbladder, the small intestine, and the pancreas, and and just how all that works together, you're going to be spending a little bit more time to get up to speed on that. But if you have a solid background in A&P, due to being a massage therapist or whatever background you have, your time, you can shave off a few hours on these, not off the herb course. Herb course is going to take you 12 hours a week, even if you have a background in A&P. Okay. All right, we went through those already. Assignments and tests are graded pass fail. There's a midterm and final. But they're all pass fail. It's a non-competitive and supportive environment. I want to say something about midterms and finals. Every client that you have is kind of like a midterm or a final, because you need to know everything about Ayurveda when you meet with your client, right? Like, you don't know what disease your client has, or you may find something else, and you need to be able to interpret it. So the midterm and final are kind of like preparation for clinic. You know, if you go to your doctor's office tomorrow and you ask the doctor a question, you're going to expect them to know the answer. Well, that means every single person they see is kind of like a midterm or a final. So we need midterms and finals. I know some people aren't great test takers. Don't worry about it. Very few of our students fail the midterm and final, but it's a great thing when you sit to study for a midterm or final and you bring all what you've been learning right to the front of your head, and you have it all there accessibly in an accessible way. In fact, you need to have that in order to even think ultimately, right? Like, we can't develop and innovate unless unless the things that we're innovating with are in our mind. So, and accessible all at the same time. So midterm and final is your great opportunity to do that. I already talked about clinic before. When does the course start? The 2-year program and the Herbalist program start the last week of August. The Digestion course starts the first or second week of October. Yeah, I talked to you about the advantage of signing up early. Calls in the class, of course, are generally attended by 20 to 40 students. Expect to have a community of support when you engage with your fellow students. Everybody knows everybody's name in the program. We all get to know each other quite well. We're oftentimes talking about our own health problems. You will know all of my health problems by the time you graduate. Because really, how do we learn Ayurveda? Through our personal experiences. So we're not going to, there'll be, we'll get to know each other. It'll be a community. Expect to be challenged, expect to be heard, valued, encouraged, and supported throughout your development in the program. Cost. So now you know the basic format and structure. What about tuition, costs, and how do you register? Cost of the health counselor program, $6,999. That breaks down to about $3,500 a year, which, it's $7,000 is always a lot of money. I'm not gonna belittle it, right? But 2 full years of education, $3,500 a year. That's a pretty good bargain. That's very competitive. There's nothing even remotely close to what this course offers out there for that price tag. And I'll also say that even $7,000, yes, it's a lot of money, but I'm going to say to you that in the grand scheme of things, the time that you spend in the course is the bigger investment, right? This is going to be 2 years of your life, and 2 years of your life is worth more than $7,000, right? So when you're thinking about this, I know there's, sometimes, there's issues of affordability, all that kind of stuff. I know it. I'm not oblivious to that. But the main thing that you're going to be thinking about is investing your time. Do I have a calling for Ayurveda? And am I ready to spend the time to learn it? That's the big question. The herb course and the digestion course are $4,499. That's for a year of study. The health counselor course, you can sign up, and it's $250. You can sign up for a monthly payment program. You can save a little bit off of the tuition if you pay everything up front, but otherwise $250 a month, less than your grocery bill. You can have Ayurveda. And for the other courses, $350 a month. If for the other courses, just because you have less time to pay them off. The 2-year course, you have 2 years to pay it off. These 2 courses, you have 1 year to pay it off. The rate per month goes up each month because you have fewer months to pay it off. All right. I know it's a big decision. I've said it already. The things our students wonder about is time, finances, support, and career planning. Those are the major issues. And I'm just going to say, I can help you, with all of those. One of the big things I do is help people form a vision of their future career planning. I'm a great business coach, and I can help you get a vision so that you feel confident that you can succeed. I think that's really important. But time, finances, support, time, we can be flexible. So we can erase that problem. Support, the best way to make sure that your community or the people that you love or the person you do budget planning with says yes, is to have a good vision for your and career plan. If you have a convincing plan for how this is going to be a worthwhile investment, because for other people, they're thinking about the cost and the reward. You are thinking about the value that Ayurveda will provide, but that's not the way other people are thinking. Other people are thinking, what is the, other people are thinking, what is the value of this investment? And so you might need to convince them with a specific vision, and I can help you with that. So it comes down then to the finances. Can you afford it? We have some strategies for that as well. And especially if you are enrolling early, there's more we can do on that level. So you have my personal cell phone. It's right on the screen, 828-785-8213. You can text me right now if you want me to give you a call, and then we can talk about some of those issues, and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. All right. If you want more info, go to the school tab on the website. Right here is the school tab on the website. And you can see here, the links to the school courses are right here. And then the academic calendar, meet our teachers, careers in Ayurveda, testimonials from graduates, our accreditation, legal status of Ayurveda. Here's a whole guideline on how to choose an Ayurveda school and a school FAQ. So check that out. Let me log out of my account on Joyful Belly so that you'll see what I see, or I'll see what you see, is actually more to the point. So if you go to any of the specific course pages, you can see here, register now for $250 a month. If you want to pay the whole thing up front, you'll register with this $600 application fee and then pay off tuition later. You save a little bit when you do that. But yeah, this has all the information. You can see our course catalog, everything. Okay. All right. So I hope to see you in class. I want to thank all of you for your interest in health. I want to say that that yes, I'm grateful that you're coming to and interested in learning from Joyful Belly. I'm really humbled by that, and appreciate your interest in our school. But even on a deeper level than that, I want to say that just that you're interested in health and learning about the body and understanding Ayurveda is itself a very wonderful thing. It's not just disease that's contagious. Health is also contagious. So I want to thank you for your interest in health. And I'm gonna say this too. In fact, right after I turn off the recording, I am going to there's something that I want to just offer to everyone who's on the call. But if you want to stick around for a little bit, but I just again, I want to thank you for your interest in health. It radiates outwards. If you learned one thing about Ayurveda today, that's something you have for the rest of your life. What you learn in this program, you are going to have for the rest of your life. You're going to earn back that $7,000 many times over just in the savings of health bills from knowing Ayurveda. And in addition to that, if you follow our methods for bringing your practice out there, and then you then you will also get the reward of a great vocation, helping others to heal. So have a wonderful rest of your evening, everyone. And I will stop the recording now, and we can break for Q&A. Thank you again, everyone.